me hit you with something real. Another year just flew by. And if you're being honest with yourself, how much of it did you actually spend showing up for you? I'm not talking about checking boxes, pleasing everyone else, or scrolling through your life on autopilot. I'm talking about living like your life actually matters, because it does. This isn't just another motivational pep talk. This is a wake-up call. Because the truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you the confidence, the love, or the self-worth you're craving. That's your job. And the moment you decide to stop waiting and start choosing yourself, that's the moment everything changes. So let's stop the excuses. Let's talk about what it really means to love yourself and how not doing it is the biggest way you're wasting your own life. Most people don't even realize they're living on autopilot until something shakes them hard. A breakup, a health scare, a job loss, or even just that deep nagging feeling at the end of the year that whispers, "Where did all the time go?" That's not just nostalgia or regret. That's your inner voice trying to wake you up, because living on autopilot doesn't feel like disaster. It feels like nothing. It's the numb routine, the comfort zone disguised as a life. It's the endless scrolling, the mindless small talk, the decisions you make not because they're right for you, but because they're easy or expected. You wake up, go through your day, check your email, go to work, respond to texts, maybe hit the gym, maybe don't, maybe order takeout again, and then crash into bed, only to do it all over again. Somewhere along the line, your days stopped feeling like yours. You became a background character in your own story. And it's not because you're lazy or broken. It's because your brain loves efficiency. It wires routines to keep you safe, to conserve energy. But what's safe is not always what's alive. What's easy is not always what's real. And the longer you coast, the more disconnected you become from your own needs, your own power, your own potential. Living on autopilot is dangerous because it tricks you into thinking you're doing enough. But are you really living, or are you just existing? There's a difference between being busy and being intentional. You can fill every hour with tasks and still feel empty. You can hit every deadline and still feel like you're falling behind, because deep down you know you're meant for more than this rinse and repeat cycle. When you're stuck in autopilot, you don't ask yourself the hard questions. You don't stop to consider, am I happy? Am I growing? Do I actually want this job, this relationship, this routine? You stop listening to your gut. You stop dreaming. You stop taking risks. And the problem is, the longer you go without questioning the path you're on, the harder it becomes to turn around. You lose time. You lose clarity. You lose. The good news: snapping out of autopilot doesn't require some massive life overhaul. It starts with awareness. It starts with noticing. Notice when you're zoning out. Notice when you say yes to something that drains you. Notice when you spend 3 hours on your phone and feel worse, not better. You can't change what you don't see, but once you see it, really see it, you can choose differently. You can pause, you can take a breath, you can decide, this moment matters and I'm going to show up for it. And that's how you start living again. Not by blowing up your whole life overnight, but by taking your power back one conscious choice at a time. By waking up and remembering that you are in charge, that your time, your energy, your voice, your boundaries, they're yours to reclaim. Every single day, you get a chance to say, I'm not here to sleepwalk through my life. I'm here to feel it, to build it, to own it. Living off autopilot means showing up, even when it's uncomfortable. It means asking, is this who I want to be? And being brave enough to pivot if the answer is no. It means creating space in your day for silence, for creativity, for connection. It means daring to say yes to things that scare you and no to things that numb you. This isn't about being perfect or productive 24/7. It's about being present. It's about remembering that your life is not a to-do list or a checklist or someone else's timeline. It's yours, and it's happening right now. The more you live with intention, the less likely you are to look back and wonder where the time went, because you'll know exactly where it went. You spent it awake, you spent it alive, you spent it being you. There's a brutal but freeing truth you need to hear. No one is coming to save you. Not your partner, not your friends, not your boss, not your parents. And it's not because people don't care. It's because they can't do the inner work for you. They can support you, love you, cheer you on, but they cannot crawl inside your mind and flip the switch that says, I matter. That's your job. Always has been. For a long time, we're conditioned to believe that someone or something will come along to fix things. Maybe it's a relationship that will make us feel whole. Maybe it's a dream job that will finally prove we're good enough. Maybe it's a perfect moment where the stars align and suddenly we're motivated, confident, ready. But that moment never comes. Not like that. Because real change doesn't come from the outside in. It comes from the inside out. Waiting to be saved is seductive because it lets you off the hook. It gives you an excuse to keep playing small, to stay stuck, to keep blaming your circumstances. It feels safer to believe that you're not moving forward because of what someone else did or didn't do. But that mindset is a trap. It keeps your power in other people's hands. It keeps you waiting. And while you wait, years go by. Opportunities slip through your fingers. Life gets lived by default instead of by design. The truth is, no one knows your pain like you do. No one feels your dreams like you do. No one understands what it's like to live inside your skin every day. That means no one else is qualified to create your breakthrough. It has to come from you. From the moment you decide that you're not going to wait anymore, you're not going to hand your future over to chance or other people's opinions. You're going to take control, even if it's messy, even if you don't have all the answers, even if you're scared. This doesn't mean you do everything alone. It means you take responsibility for your life. You ask for help, but you don't wait for permission. You look in the mirror and say, it starts with me. And that's not a burden, that's a gift. Because once you accept that no one's coming to save you, you stop wasting time. You stop fantasizing about the perfect moment or the ideal support system. You get to work with what you have, and you realize you are more capable than you've ever given yourself credit for. You've already survived things you thought would break you. You've gotten through dark days, hard seasons, tough choices. You already have the strength inside you. You just forgot. You just got quiet. You just started believing the lie that you're not enough without someone else validating it. But guess what? You are enough. You don't need saving. You need to believe in your own ability to rise. This shift in mindset changes everything. It flips the script. You stop asking, when will someone help me? And start asking, what can I do today to move one step closer to who I want to be? You stop living like a victim of your circumstances and start acting like the author of your story. And that doesn't mean you won't fall down. You will. It doesn't mean you won't feel lost sometimes. You will. But you won't stay down. You won't stay lost because now you know it's on you. And that's the most empowering truth you can carry. So stop waiting. Stop hoping that someone will see your potential and give you permission to chase it. Give yourself that permission. Look at your life and realize this is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. And you're not helpless. You're not stuck. You're just one bold choice away from changing everything. The people who transform their lives aren't the ones with perfect plans or endless support. They're the ones who stop waiting and start moving, even if it's hard, even if they're scared, even if they fail and have to try again. You don't need a hero. You need to become your own, and you can. Starting now, self-love isn't a one-time event. It's not something you achieve once and then coast on for the rest of your life. It's a daily decision, sometimes even a moment-to-moment choice. You don't wake up one day fully healed, perfectly confident, and glowing with self-worth for the rest of time. That's not how it works. Real self-love is built in the small, quiet choices you make every single day, especially the hard ones. Some days, self-love looks like pushing yourself out of bed, even when your thoughts are heavy. Other days, it means saying no to people who drain you, even if they expect your yes. It's choosing food that nourishes your body instead of feeding your stress. It's putting your phone down to make time for rest, reflection, or real connection. It's asking for help when your pride tells you to stay silent. It's forgiving yourself when you mess up and refusing to let your mistakes define you. The world doesn't teach us this kind of love. We're taught that love is something we earn by being attractive, productive, or liked by others. We're told we're lovable when we're achieving, when we're smiling, when we're doing something impressive. But that's not real love. That's conditional approval. And chasing it will exhaust you because no matter how much praise you get, no matter how many people clap for you, if you don't believe in your worth, it will never feel like enough. You'll always be chasing the next fix. That's why self-love has to come from you. It has to be something you commit to, even when it feels unnatural or uncomfortable. Especially then, because your brain has been wired for years to criticize, compare, and question your value. Undoing that conditioning doesn't happen overnight. It happens through repetition, through gentleness, through conscious, deliberate acts of care. And here's the truth most people avoid. Self-love is work. It takes effort to stop abandoning yourself. It takes awareness to notice when your inner critic is running the show. It takes courage to interrupt those thoughts and replace them with something better. It's easier to numb out. It's easier to stay busy, to seek validation, to distract yourself. But all that does is widen the gap between who you are and who you could be. When you start practicing self-love daily, things begin to shift. You stop tolerating relationships that feel one-sided or toxic. You stop talking to yourself like you're a failure. You start taking care of your body because you respect it, not because you hate it. You start doing things that light you up instead of just checking boxes. And slowly you begin to feel like you're actually living your life, not just surviving it. Loving yourself daily also means staying accountable. It means recognizing when you're slipping into old patterns and gently pulling yourself back. It means being honest about what you need and brave enough to go after it. It means showing up for yourself on the days when no one else sees your effort. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself. And you deserve to feel safe, respected, and cared for in your own mind. This isn't about arrogance or ego. It's not about thinking you're better than others. It's about refusing to treat yourself like an afterthought. It's about holding your own hand when life gets messy. It's about knowing that you are worthy, not someday, not when you finally look a certain way or accomplish some goal, but right now, as you are. And yes, there will be days when it's hard, days when your self-love is quiet and shaky and far from perfect. That's okay. The point isn't to get it right all the time. The point is to keep showing up, to keep choosing yourself again and again. Because every time you do, you send a message to your brain, your heart, and your soul, I matter. I'm not going to abandon myself. I'm worth the effort. That message compounds over time. It builds resilience. It rewires your sense of self. And eventually, self-love stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like your natural state. But it starts with the decision. Today, and again, tomorrow, because self-love isn't a finish line. It's a lifelong practice, and it's the most important one you'll ever commit to. Time is the one resource you can never get back. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose relationships and rebuild them. But once a day, a month, or a year is gone, it's gone forever. And yet we act like we've got unlimited time, like we can keep pushing our dreams, our healing, our joy into some vague future where everything will magically be easier. That illusion is costing you your life. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, or next year will be different, you're gambling with something non-refundable. That's not just procrastination. It's self-abandonment. The truth is, most people waste years waiting to feel ready, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to give them permission to go after what they want. But there's no perfect moment coming. There's no sign from the universe that will make everything line up just right. Life isn't a movie with a clear act 1, 2, and 3. It's happening right now, in real time, with all its messiness, uncertainty, and imperfection. If you don't learn to claim your time, it will get eaten alive by distractions, obligations, and fear. Think about how many days you spent doing things that didn't light you up. How many weeks blurred together with the same routine, the same stress, the same mindless scrolling, the same avoidance. We tell ourselves these moments don't matter, but they add up. A wasted hour becomes a wasted day. A string of wasted days becomes a lost year. And a lost year becomes a life you barely recognize. You have to understand your time is your power. Where you spend it reveals what you truly value. If you say your mental health matters, but you never make space to rest, reflect, or heal, do you really believe it? If you say you want to grow, but you keep repeating the same habits, same relationships, same stories, what are you really choosing? Because every choice you make, no matter how small, shapes your reality. You are either building a life that reflects who you want to be, or reinforcing a life that keeps you stuck. This doesn't mean you have to hustle every second or turn your life into a productivity contest. That's not the point. The point is to stop sleepwalking through time, to stop letting fear or laziness or comfort steal years from you, because time isn't just about the clock ticking. It's about your energy, your attention, your presence. Are you showing up for your life, or are you watching it pass by? There's a painful moment of realization for many people where they look back and think, I wish I had started sooner. That regret is real. It stings, but it can also be the fuel you need to change everything. The key is to take that pain and turn it into action, not guilt. Guilt keeps you stuck in the past. Responsibility pulls you into the present where change actually happens. You don't need more time. You need to use the time you have differently. You need to be ruthless about what and who gets access to your energy. You need to ask hard questions like, is this habit taking me closer to the life I want or further away? Is this relationship nourishing me or draining me? Is the way I spend my day aligned with the kind of person I say I want to be? These are not easy questions, but they're necessary because you only get this one life. And it's not supposed to be lived in delay. It's not supposed to be a never-ending cycle of waiting. It's meant to be lived fully, loudly, with presence and purpose. And you don't need to have everything figured out to start. You just need to stop pretending you have forever. When you realize your time is non-refundable, you start saying no more clearly. You start choosing better. You stop wasting your energy on things that don't align with your truth. And that's how everything starts to shift. Not in one grand moment, but in the way you protect your time like the sacred, limited resource it is. You are not behind. You are not too late, but you are responsible now. Because once you know your time is precious, you can't keep giving it away like it's nothing. You have dreams to chase, healing to do, joy to experience, and it all starts when you decide to stop wasting what you can never get back. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. It's the foundation of every healthy boundary, every dream fulfilled, every peaceful moment you experience. But for so many people, choosing themselves feels foreign, even wrong. We're taught to put others first, to sacrifice, to prove our worth through service or achievement. And while caring for others is meaningful, it becomes dangerous when it consistently comes at the cost of your own well-being. At some point, you have to stop waiting for the world to prioritize you and decide to prioritize yourself. Choosing yourself means stepping out of the background and into the center of your own life. It means realizing that you're not here just to survive or to support everyone else's story. You're here to live fully on your terms. That starts with recognizing your needs, your values, and your desires as valid, even if they don't make sense to anyone else. It's understanding that your voice matters, your time matters, and your joy matters. Not someday, not when you earn it, but right now. For most people, this doesn't come naturally. You might be used to shrinking yourself to keep the peace. You might be so familiar with self-neglect that choosing yourself feels uncomfortable, maybe even selfish. But discomfort isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're doing something different. You're breaking a pattern. And of course, that feels weird at first. But that discomfort is worth pushing through because on the other side is freedom. The kind that only comes when you stop asking others to make room for you and start taking up space without apology. Choosing yourself is not about rejecting others. It's not about becoming hard or isolated or cold. It's about finally acknowledging that your relationship with yourself is the core of everything else. When you choose yourself, you stop settling. You stop clinging to relationships where you're only halfway seen. You stop pretending to be okay just to make other people comfortable. And that changes your entire reality because now you're operating from a place of truth. You begin to notice the difference between what feels good and what just feels familiar. You stop confusing loyalty with self-betrayal. You give yourself permission to leave when something no longer serves you, instead of clinging out of guilt or fear. And when you do that, you make space for the things that actually align with who you're becoming. Choosing yourself daily doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It doesn't mean you never make mistakes or have setbacks, but it does mean that even on the hard days, you refuse to abandon yourself. You don't silence your needs just to keep things smooth. You don't stay quiet just to be liked. You trust that your life is worth living as fully and honestly as possible. And that means making decisions that honor you even when they're uncomfortable. There's a quiet power that comes with this choice, a steadiness. Because when you're grounded in your own worth, the opinions of others stop carrying so much weight. You're no longer chasing validation. You're anchored in self-respect. And from that place, everything becomes clearer. Your boundaries become firmer, your goals become bolder, your relationships become more authentic because they're built on truth, not performance. Every day you choose yourself. You're rewriting your story. You're telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, I am not an afterthought. I am not disposable. I am not just here to play a role in someone else's life. You are the main character. And the minute you stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself, everything begins to change. This choice doesn't need to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as saying no when you used to say yes. Sometimes it's taking a walk instead of pushing through another task. Sometimes it's speaking your truth even when your voice shakes. Every one of those moments is a vote for your future, a vote for the life you actually want to live. So stop waiting for someone to pick you. Stop hoping the world will suddenly recognize your worth. Stand up, look in the mirror, and choose yourself every single day. That's where your power is. That's where your peace is. And that's where the life you've been craving finally begins. Let this be your wake-up call. You don't need another year to pass you by. You don't need to keep waiting for motivation, permission, or the right time. This is it. Right now. You have one life, and it's happening in real time, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. The truth is, you already know what you need to do. You already feel that pull inside you, that urge to change, to rise, to take control. So stop ignoring it. Stop betraying yourself. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are just one decision away from shifting everything. Start choosing yourself daily, fiercely, consistently, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when no one else understands, because this is your life. And it's not meant to be spent waiting, proving, pleasing, or hiding. It's meant to be lived with courage, with truth, with love for yourself. No more wasted years. No more shrinking. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real you, fully alive, fully present, fully committed to showing up. So don't waste another moment. Choose yourself now. Love yourself now, and keep doing it over and over until it becomes the most natural thing in the world. That's how you change your life. That's how you stop surviving and finally start living.